It's Viper vs Salami. Let's get underway. I'm going to stop baiting people now. And I thought this one would be pretty cool. Like, I saw that this is being played live, by the way, so I don't know the outcome, but I noticed that that it was an HRE pick on Dry Arabia and kind of felt like I just had to check it out. So, opening-wise, I will say already that I want to bleach my eyeballs of Viper start here. This Uvu is nowhere... Oh, no. Oh, no, he sees it as well. He sees it. Oh! Just, that was a live recording from Viper's brain at that given moment. We've all been there. It always happens, doesn't it? That, oh god, that... I'm going to look away now. Let's not focus too much on that. It's probably for the best. Meanwhile, in Salami's base, everything's vibing, you know? Actually, he's got quite a nice spawn, you know? You get the tree lines, you got the gold, you can cover the sheep as well. Like, overall, this is reasonable. Now, did Salami go for the secondary scout? Ooh, he did. He did go for the second scout. And Viper didn't. What? Oh my... What? I get why, by the way. He didn't go for a scout because he had to park his TC. That wasted time. He had idle time. But this is really worrying, actually. Like, if Salami identifies what's happened here, if he scouts this out, he can get very aggressive. Because you're not getting efficient pastures. There's no way you're packing them up and putting them near the Uvu. That's too dangerous. Even against an HRE player. Like, we've seen HRE players get more aggressive. With the changes, you have to remember that it's no longer just an Ark and Chapel choice. A lot of HRE players become more conscious of how dominant of a force they can be in feudal due to the fact that they are just eco booming at that stage, right? Like, you have to remember what happens with the HRE. Everyone always got wrapped up in the concept the HRE castle age boom because you could do it so quickly. Now, that is true. You can choose to take those resources and invest them in tech to get even more eco benefits from the Regnitz Cathedral. Alternatively, you can kind of just wake up to the reality that the HRE gathers 40% quicker than other civs via these prelates in the early game. On top of that, they by default carry more resources than other civs. So if you take that 40% leverage in the early game and put it into military, does it not make sense that you should be able to float more military than most other civs? And that's when you start to open up a lot of potential. Now, I'm kind of bringing it up in this game, but I'm not necessarily expecting it. And in fact, we can already see that Salami is going to chill with the Ark and Chapel. But he definitely had the option available. The interesting part to me is this Ark and Chapel placement. Is he planning to go multi-TC in this game? This could be a multi-TC build. It feels that way when I do see an Ark and Chapel between two tree lines next to a stone outcropping. Like, he's actually forsaken the gold. He could have easily had that as his advantage here. We'll have to see. He is going to get a lot of value on the wood lines at least, because remember, it's a decent area around, so it's going to be extended for most of it on the carrybacks. And the cool thing, by the way, is it's not too bad to keep your lumber camps just in Ranger here to get that Ark and Chapel buff constantly. Simply because, realistically, once you have wheelbarrow, you're carrying a lot of wood, right? Remember, with the extra carry capacity, you already have an increase of 40%. And then on top of that, you can go back for the wheelbarrow, which, as you can see here, gives an additional 5. So overall, you're actually lofting around a lot of resources. It means that you can actually kind of have that inefficiency of walking further to maintain the Holy Inspiration buff. And he's actually doing it. He's going for the multi-TC build. Wait, and no, it is. I had to double check. I was like, he isn't going for an outpost rush. No, this is going to be multi-TC HRE opener. What in the deuce are you doing, Salami? What? Now, a little bit of context, like Salami, most people will be familiar with him by now. Like, you know, this guy's been hard on the grind. He's been featured all over the place. In fact, at the time of recording on the ranked, he's in 48th place. Let me explain why he's in 48th place. Salami has been getting dodged by quite a lot of people. Why, you may ask? He's a little bit unorthodox for a rank grinder. He's not playing the meta. He's trying to make his own meta, which is, you know, why it shows him love this lad, because I actually prefer people that try to discover the next conversion, the next convergence point in the meta. And he's definitely trying to do that with this opening. And that has actually caused a lot of players to choose to just drop and dodge him on purpose because they just don't want to deal with the weird shenanigans. Like, they might get a free win if he does something stupid in their eyes, but his wacky ways also might catch them off guard. And it seems a lot of people are just trying to be comfortable in their approach to gain their rank at the top of the leaderboards so they can actually assure their placement in future tournaments. And this info has been fed back, by the way. Viper. We've seen him. He's a TC connoisseur himself in multiple civs. He's going to see this and probably respect it in a way, but also realize that he needs to actually punish it. This kind of goes against the Mongol doctrine, though. The Mongols want to rush straight up into Castle Age quite quickly, actually, unless they're going for early outpost aggression. The problem is that window is already passed. He's going to try to go for it now, but this is very stunted, actually. He goes up a feudal. He pulls the villager now. Maybe he gets this up, but no, the location. Salami's going to beam to the punchline. And he's going to see the villager. The timing on this, no. Don't mind me, just out for a stroll. Oh my god, what are they doing? Well, that wasn't pretty. Wait, what? Did he? Salami. Explain that damage. You know, my maths may not be great, but I'm pretty sure 7 times 3 doesn't equal 50. I think Salami's a cheeky shenanigan here, as there's no other possible way that Viper's villager dies that quick. He wasn't going to do anything anyway. So timing off. And this was my worry, right? We said, like, Viper, once he sees the second TC, he's inclined to go for the outpost rush. But the outpost rush is too slow. He's going to try to crawl in one now, but it's too late. Like, initial value is fine here. Overall, Salami's pretty cozy. He's going to be able to get all the deer. He's got the woodline secures, and he's got the gold to the southeast, as well as having a relic now covered instantly. Overall, this is really good. Viper's play, not so much. I don't think you even want to hang around. Like, it almost feels like you're just building an outpost because you had the resources at this stage. It might just be to your benefit to go for castle quickly, but I understand the necessity to want to pressure because realistically, you are up against the HRE. The argument is, now that your opponent has gone for secondary TC, is the HRE, does that stunt his timings enough that you'd be able to access castle first, or is it still just a pointless race to pursue? Because we have to remember that the kind of standard adage here is if you're choosing to castle age rush against the HRE, you're choosing to lose the game. Like, it's very hard to beat the timings of this civ. Now, Salami, of course, has stunted his own timings, but as we can see, they're very healthy still. He's halfway there. It's almost 8 minutes in the game, and he did stop off for a secondary town center. So overall, Salami doing pretty well, and this outpost is not going to stop him. The Magadai play is interesting for Viper, though. I'm not against this. My concern is, like, unless you can find a way to deny this gold, Salami is going to get castle. And once he gets castle, your Magadai feel a little bit worthless. So my concern here is if Viper chooses to double down. Something I've seen that can usually be a mistake is when you choose to double produce. Unless you can find a good reason to have 6 Magadai in the field, you're simply just, like, over-militarying, right? That's a good word. You're just over-committing to the strategy that doesn't get value. Because you can't die with these units. They have 0 armor. They only have 85 health. And they cost 160 resource each. It's not worth it. And yeah, you see, like, this is not why you build Magadai, folks. You do not build Magadai to kill a mining camp. Oh, they're sneaking. What? Salami's getting rid of the outpost. And he will be able to burn it to the ground. No way he'll be able to repair this one. He's going to lose 1 or 2 villages for the cause. But I guess he was really concerned about this. Interesting that he prioritizes this, considering he could have burned it down later pretty easily. And what does Viper do? Ah, it's like it never happened. Oh wait, the arrow fire. Oh, he's dead. I think this is where you cut and run. I think the Magadai experiment is coming to a close here. There's no way you pull a 3rd villager. There's just no way. But a 3rd and 4th villager, that's something that Viper can get behind. Wow. He really is committed to this now. I can kind of understand why. He has to know castle's coming soon. But that's why I like the Magadai in the midfield. You don't necessarily need to pressure base. Magadai roaming around the midfield can intercept on the relics. I don't necessarily think you need more than 6 at this stage. So I'm hoping he's not going up for more. It looks like he has cut at that point. But, like, you have to kind of accept the castle's coming. There's no way to stop it now, even with this new villager pool. To answer the question about Magadai, like, Magadai, they do 7 damage each. So you can see it requires a substantial number to insta-kill a villager with 50 health. Someone really wants me to do the maths, don't they? It costs you 7. You need 7. Just kidding. 8. 7 if you want to put him down to 1 health. Just checking you guys knew your maths. Oh no. Well, Viper is not having a fun time right now. We'll try once again for an outpost. Oh my god. Viper has like 800 wood right now. And you know what he's doing with it? 2 TC, baby! But Salami sees it. Oh my, what is this game? What is this game right now? Magadai move in, butcher a few villages, and he's going to cancel it. In the end, it ends up being a bait. Like, look at the investment now. Salami invested 300 wood to protect this gold vein. And Viper still ended up getting a secondary TC. Now, Salami does know about it. Question is, what's he going to do about it? It's not going to be the Regnitz Cathedral. He's getting aggressive. He goes for the Burgrave Palace. Wait, what? Big Burr fan here. I mean, we'll see if it works out. This will not be expected. And Viper, by the way, after all that, has the eco lead slightly. And now he's going to maintain it because they're neck and neck in terms of villager production. Question is, can Salami hit his timing? It feels a little bit funky to go Burgrave without Archon Chapel. We'll see how he wants to use it, though. He's going to start to collect those relics, because remember, he can bank them in the outpost. This is something to take note of, folks. Like, although he doesn't have Regnitz Cathedral, he's not going to get 1,000,001 gold. He's not going to get enough gold to get lap dances from your mum all night long. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have. What he can do, however, is bank them in the outpost, upgrade the defenses, and also get paid 100 gold per minute. I'm sorry, I couldn't resist. It was low-bearing fruit. But he's going to struggle to get the rest. You can see Magadai proud in the field. Isn't going to make it easy. And yeah, so if you're wondering what happens when you bank a relic in an outpost, you'll see right here. You plop it inside. And bon appetit. You now have juiced up the garrison entirely. As you can see, you get the armor, damage, sight range, weapon range. Most importantly, it doesn't cost you anything. You still get the gold. The only reason to put relics in anything else other than like outposts and keeps is, well, 1, do you have a Regnitz Cathedral? And 2, are you scared of losing the area? Because outside of losing this area, there's no reason not to bank these in defenses. You can see the effect as well, right? From 8 tower range to 9.6. 9.6 tower range. It's a hefty beast. Viper. Gonna frustrate a little bit on the backside. Might be able to pepper down one of these villages. But overall, like, Salami's vibing. He's moving fairly well. Neck and neck on the eco department right now. But remember that Viper is now kind of closing that lead. While Salami does have 40% more efficiency whenever he wholly inspires people, now Viper has his own little buffer up. He has got the step readout, 50% additional gold drop-off. So with 8 people sitting on this, he is getting 4 additional workers in his workforce. Also, other thing to note here, Salami, where's his food? Okay, he's on the sheep. I was about to say, because after he finished with the sheep, like, if he wants to keep efficient comparative gathering rates to Viper, he might need to go into farms. Farms underneath the Archon Chapel. The problem is he doesn't really have room because of the way he's laid his base. This is unfortunate what's happened here for Salami. Everything got condensed because he's being pressured early. This is a result of the pressure that Viper applied. He's put a blacksmith, he's put a house, multiple houses in fact, markets and multiple lumber camps, as well as outposts in range of the Archon Chapel. So he can't even convert this into farmlands right now, or anytime soon. Frustrating for him. Meanwhile, what does Viper do? Oh, it's a stranglehold. Look how big this network is getting. And he also went for the prayer tent. Now, Viper, he does like to do this. He likes to pack up and move the prayer tent out. Remember, when the prayer tent is on the move, it doesn't generate the gold. But, of course, you can drop relics in it, even when it's wheeling around in caravan form. And Salami has to come out soon. Like, the crazy part is he built this Burgrave Palace, but he hasn't used it once yet. I think this comes down to food, actually. This is more to the credit of what Viper done. So notice that the way that the Stranglehold is encroached upon Salami's base, it's actually made it almost impossible to move out into food. So in terms of deer, he extracted his initial. He can't get onto the northern one because there's an outpost there. Berries are contested by Magadai just camping here the whole time. Even over here on the berries, he got an outpost up really early. So the issue that Salami has right now is he needs to get the wiggle room to go for the farms. And there you go. He does delete the marketplace. Not ideal, as you're not going to get refunded for that. But he has no choice here. And this is going to stunt his timing because this is 75 wood per farm. And if you look at the numbers right now, he's trying to build up additional infrastructure and outposts around him. He can barely afford this strain. And that's why when we look in, we see 18 people on wood right now. And Viper, what's he doing back in his base? He's continuing to boom in the meantime. Now has a free eco lead. I think that's mainly because Salami is missing 1 or 2 productions. You can see on the numbers, he actually can't afford constant villager production right now. You know what this is? Salami's just sitting there, he's like, oh wait, I'm playing the HRE. I'm not used to having multiple TCs. Not at this stage. He really needs some farms here. This is a nice area to put farms as well, but he wants the Ark and Chapel buff. Which means he's going to have to delete and replace, right? Like, he just done that with the marketplace. Remember, markets, they're not cheap. 100 wood. So he just sinks that and then wastes it. Probably want to do the same with houses at some point. Mining count doesn't matter as much. Outposts have been upgraded, but I don't think you necessarily want to keep them. Looks like for now he's going to extend to the north, but now he's kind of capped this area. And I still feel like he needs more food. Maybe I'm just a greedy boy, but it genuinely does feel like Salami doesn't have enough food still. Especially considering he went for a Burgrave Palace. For those that aren't used to seeing this weird contraption, because the Ragnitz Cathedral looks very odd today, this is not the Ragnitz Cathedral. This is the Burgrave Palace. We never see the alternative, but here's how it works. It's a 400% faster racks. This works for both the researchers as well as producing the units. It allows you to push them 5 times quicker than a regular racks. So the way you think about this is when you reach Castle Age, this is essentially you suddenly getting 5 barracks in one. And although that doesn't sound like a great investment long-term, because you can always build that many racks, it's pretty nice on choke point base maps where you don't have a lot of room. It's pretty nice when you're actually looking for a very quick timing at the beginning of Castle, especially considering that it increases the upgrade speed, right? That's the other important detail to remember here, is that it's not just producing units 5 times as fast as normal racks, it's researching 5 times faster than normal racks. So, Housing Crisis has been resolved by Salami. Viper, of course, never has to worry about that being the Mongols. You just start at 200 pop gap, and now he's starting to get into those crossbows. But look at this Salami. Healthy composite now with the Spearman coming out. I would love to see him push some Langsneck, actually. Langsneck plus the Spearman would just completely evaporate whatever Viper's doing. The one thing he does have to be careful of is the movement speed, Malice. Because he hasn't gone for the marching drills, he hasn't got his 10% increased movement speed yet. And also, if Viper's playing on the defensive or anywhere near outpost, which he has plenty of in the field, remember that he's getting a 15% movement speed buff to all of his military units. And why does that matter so much? Well, it means that crossbows are basically going to be moving quicker than Spearmen. And I think that's the other reason Viper went for this play. Like, he's assuming man-at-arms makes the most sense for Salami. So should Viper encounter those man-at-arms, even with the marching drills, the Yam is going to ensure that the crossbowmen move quicker because they're both 1.12 movement speed units, but Yam is 15% compared to the 10% of marching drills. Of course, it is variable, right? You do need to make sure that you have outposts nearby to maintain that Yam. Wait, what? Salami, has he started the attack on Titan theme a little bit too soon? Was that double scout insta-sniped? Oh my god, Viper! Wow! Okay, this is escalating quickly. But folks, this is the power of double TC. Salami, he goaded Viper. He challenged him to combat the double TC HRE. And you know what? He has. Because the amount of production coming out exceeds Salami. Salami thought that this would be his way to victory, but all he'd done is condensed himself too far. He didn't play towards the economical advantage of getting Ragnitz Cathedral, so he's not getting huge amounts of gold trickle. And Viper, even if he tried to play towards that, he already eliminated a lot of movement via the outposts. Like, the ability to choke his opponent in like this means that Salami is running out of space. Even though he went for a Burgrave Palace, he's going to run out of space to boost up his farmlands, as well as be able to afford the military district room to push as many units as Viper is. Make no mistake, Viper, he's building up fast. He's almost doubling up Salami now. Salami has gone to the Langsneck. We talked about this. It's a very healthy composition. The man-at-arms really aren't needed. It's more about the Spearman and Langsneck, because if you look at this formation, right now, looks similar, right? Wait until we get to elite status. When you get up into elite status, it's actually quite hard to tell Langsneck apart from Spearman. It's actually frustrating how similar they look. And I know what you're thinking right now. Pigeon, you're blind. Go to Specsavers. I'm looking at them right now. They look different. Yes, but these guys get golden pants as well when you tech them up. They both get golden hats. And then also, when you zoom out like this, at a quick glance, when you're looking around, notice that the Langsneck and the swords waving about kind of resemble spears when you're quickly glancing around. It's quite ridiculous. You'll see. You'll all see if we even get there. Because right now, Salami's making a move. Viper hasn't gone into the mangonels because, you know what? It's not time yet. If any player was going to build mangonels, it would be Viper. I remember querying him on this. He couldn't give quite a clear... Like, he said that they'd clearly been over-nerfed, but he didn't want to really talk about why he was building the mangonels. I think he was the only player I was seeing frequently, consistently, in fact, build them in the second part of Golden League. But they're not here yet. Crossbow's fighting. Spears and man-at-arms holding his opponent at bay, but he's getting shredded on the front line. Remember, the Langstick are spreading out. 16 remaining. They are very squishy, though. Only 80 health. And oh, wait, no. Wait, what are you doing? It's not a good time to run a lap. This is not the time to use your legs. Use your arms, man. Spread out. Viper needs to go in staggered formation. The micro on point, splitting up into groups to look for clues. Means he's going to actually win this fight. And this is the awkward issue with Langsneck. They are so damn squishy. They can do a lot of damage, but against a ranged composite, it's just so underwhelming. I mean, this is the issue with the HRE right now. You know, if your go-to is man-at-arms and Langsneck, and we're in the middle of a ranged unit boom, what the hell do you do? And if anyone in the chat says build hand cannoneers and archers, then why not just play the Chinese? Or the Abbasids? Or like any other Civ, because they can all do that. Oh no. I guess one nice side to highlight is you do at least get the marching drill, so an extra 10% movement speed, but outside that, it does feel like you're not really getting the benefits you deserve. One cool thing the HRE do have, however, is the combat prelates. Now, has he gone for the... no. Well, if Salami had built a monastery, what he would have right now is the ability to research tech to combat boost. So Holy Inspire right now only works on villagers to increase the cav rate by 40%. You can actually buff military units for 60 seconds to juice up their damage by 15% and armor by 1. The reason that's a big deal is this here, or used to be a big deal before they nerfed it. The Mangonel would actually be affected by this. So you get a 15% increase in damage. Obviously, it doesn't affect the spread, but that's actually a big chunk of additional damage. That actually allows you to require one less Mangonel to wipe a crossbow battalion. However, we are not going to get to see it in this game. We are, however, seeing Mangonels being pushed out quickly by Salami. Meanwhile, Viper hasn't even bothered. Now, I don't believe he went for the blacksmith tech either. He is, however, teching up. Okay, he has got siege engineering. But more importantly, the White Stupa half complete. Look at the economy right now. He's so far ahead. This is ridiculous. And it all comes down to the pin. Salami hasn't been able to get out of his base. He just took a terrible trade, so he has to double down, replace the losses. Think how hefty those losses were. He had what? Close to 20 Langsneck. Langsneck cost 100 gold each. Remember that Salami didn't go for the relics with the Regnitz Cathedral. So overall, he's only had one relic, meaning he's not getting great gold trickle at all. And also has a very finite amount of gold left. In fact, he just tapped himself dry. He has to come out to play. And he's going to have to because he just saw the tech up. He wants to go, but Viper, we can see he's well prepped here. Willing to sacrifice the outpost. He's buying time because guess what he's doing while this is happening? He's teching. 45 seconds away. Elite status isn't too far off here. Pokes and prods. Mangonels. Shot coming in. Oh my god, no. Went for the man-at-arms instead of the crossbows. And now look at the micro. Viper, he spreads out. Wraps around. Torches onto the Magos with 1 or 2 here. Langsneck are just being rinsed, and this doesn't even look close right now. Salami. The mangoes will not save you, my friend. This is just going to be a wipe again. And at the end of it, Viper is going to have probably about 40 military units left over. And tech up's coming through soon. Salami, once again, going to be forced to replace what was lost. No way in hell he's reaching Imperial at this rate. That's mangoes. Oh, how strong they once were. How far they have fallen. Viper with a trivial sidestep. Make sure they don't do any more damage. And even a scholar on the front, even a monk, Shamarov on the front line to heal people up here. Viper, well, we said he had siege engineering. This would be the time to use it. Then again, why not just build siege workshops and push bombards? Because you're at that stage in the game, and it's going to be a lot quicker to end the game in favor of you. Salami, he's still, oh my God. This is the worst case scenario. He never got rid of the back outposts So he can't even feign expansion to the northeast. Viper has full vision. There's no paranoia here. Watch the vision. Salami sees this. Are you ready, kids? Aye, aye, Captain. No, I'm not going to do that. Everything. It's oppressive. Even if you don't have the spring wheels, even if you don't have cannon upgrades, even if you weren't benefit from movement speed, vision is oppressive like this. Any move Salami makes is seen and known ahead of time. Meanwhile, Salami has to anticipate, guesstimate what Viper's going to do, and every time he's come up with the wrong answer so far. And he's struggling to get a final answer together. Salami, what is the move here? You're running out of resources fast, son. Barely any wood remaining. Been gold dry for a while. In fact, look at that income per minute. Not my HRE. Not my HRE. What is that gold income? Ladies and gentlemen, we are 26 minutes into the game and an HRE player has 100 gold per minute. I need a bucket because I'm going to vomit. That is not what you do. That's not what the HRE is meant to be about. It was not meant to end like this. But there's no other way for it to go now. The Trebs and Bombards starting to breach through. This base is crumbling quicker than it can rebuild. And in fairness, like, I mean, you do have 3,000 resources, but where are you going to build it? Outpost did get burnt down at least. He's starting to extend out to the north side, but it feels a little bit too late. You can't retreat quicker than Viper can come in. You will have to fight. Now, the Trebs are exposed. That could be an easy snipe. I say that, Viper might react though. I mean, the Trebs aren't really that big of a deal. It's the Bombards that are important. There you go, shift them across. And all of a sudden, this is about to look even more one-sided than it has so far. As the Spearman can do nothing. This is just ridiculous. He built the Spearman to deal with the crossbows, and they haven't done that once in this game. And he just got the bad news. There's even more Bombards waiting in reserve. It's like, wait, why aren't you using these ones? We ran out of cannonballs. They'll be there soon. Not if I can kill them. However, you need to kill these ones. Moving in on two fronts, right? Pretty good. Trying to get through him. Salami, he's gone from 100 gold boy to -0 gold boy. I don't remember the last time I saw an HRE player before the GG point in the game with 0 income per minute in gold. But here it is, ladies and gents. Welcome to the Salami Show. Although that show may be cut short of its first season finale here. Blacksmith being plopped down. Trying to get any tech upgrade he can. But Grey Palace working overtime to get the Spearman out. But the Spearman are never an answer for this many crossbow, it seems. The only good news right now for Salami is at least he's not dealing with Bombards. Oh, wait. More are being built. The only reason they're not here right now is Viper needs to throw away some troops. He's pop-capped. Damage is adding up. Man-at-Arms just butchering in. Salami shrinking on the eco, shriveling on the military force. He's not really able to afford anything at this rate. Income looks healthy on food, but the surplus is just not there. Has plenty of wood. Maybe he can build himself a ship and sail away to a better map because this is just not the place for him. And he tries to stop the sacred sites. Remember, Viper's had that ticking down for a while. But it's just kind of a throwaway force. Even if you get the decap, I believe you're about to be decapped to your own base, or rather decapitated in this one. As primary town center down to 2k HP. More troops quickly pushing across, and I think we're at the end of the tether here. Salami, he offers up an interesting experimentation into the ways of the HRE. But I think maybe this was a little bit too crazy scientist and not so much discovered the cure for cancer. It's not really going to get him a win in this one. I mean, Viper's literally taking the gold away from Salami's base at this stage. I just want to give so much credit to Viper. Like, Salami, it's an interesting idea, but it only works if you can protect it informationally, right? The moment it gets discovered by Viper, notice that Viper doesn't over-panic. Like, he goes to these outposts that look a little bit sporadic, a little bit crazy. But what does he do? He baits his opponent in. He actually delays him getting full value out of the eco boom, forces him to invest militarily in defenses, and then uses that strong point to fall back, get his own secondary TC, and boom up to be the only force remaining at the 30-minute mark, and the only one to crack Imperial Age at 30 minutes in against an HRE player. Oh, you slivery bugger.